All I'm saying is, if this is a purely hypothetical, if this is what happened, how is it less than what Pete Rose did?
Do you consider sign stealing, not to this alleged extent, do you consider sign stealing gamesmanship?
If you are on second base and you can figure out what the catcher and the pitcher are doing and communicate it to the batter in real time, fair game. Fair game. Because you're physically out there on the field.
Right.
What else are you going to do? You're standing on second base. You have to be in close proximity to the base in order to make sure you don't get picked off. You're there. You earned your way there.
Yep.
Or you got there through an error, whatever. It doesn't matter. You're there. And you can see with your own two eyes in real time what's going on behind the plate and how it's being communicated to the pitcher. And if you could figure that out and communicate it to the batter in real time, fair game 100%. In the same way that tipping pitches, if you can figure that out through guesswork and all of that, 1,000%. There's been signs in every sport, essentially. If you can figure out what the signs are because the other team has been slipshod and trying to communicate it or doesn't switch things up, absolutely that's fair game. But to use technology...
You think technology is kind of eliminates
of course
the
it is.
gamesmanship
Now,
element.
I understand you said, as you pointed out, binoculars
it's
was
the
technology in the
Right.
50s and 40s and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're now using another human being that's off the field of play to steal the sign due to a vantage point that you're able to set up because you're home, that's not right. That is beyond the scope, binoculars or what have you. But if you are setting up a system, again, this is what has been assumed, supposed, whatever. If you set something up that there's a camera in center field, zooming in on what the catcher is doing and communicating to the pitcher, and you are reading that sign through some sort of Nest setup that you have in your home stadium, or if you do it on the road and you get the feed and have created some sort of buzzer system. Now, that's the point I was saying, too, is that the banging on the roof or the ceiling or
trash can
whatever
or
it is
whatever,
to bang to point where a batter can hear because there's only 20, 30,000 fans in a stadium on a sleepy August night. That is one way to do it, but it can't work, as I was always assuming as well, can't work in a postseason game where people are waving towels and going crazy. You can't hear somebody banging when you're at the plate, focused in on something. But you can feel a buzz on your forearm.
Yeah.
And here's the unfortunate thing and why baseball's got to get to the bottom of it, figure it out, and communicate it to fans. I'm sitting here after reading in the New York Post again, and this is what people are rumored to be saying, what the investigators are looking at. I'm sitting here now as a Yankee fan saying, and this is what they need to get to the bottom of and get out. So I'm not thinking this in my head. I'm thinking about how did Jose Altuve catch up to that pitch in his eyes that Aroldis Chapman threw to end the ALCS and yank it out of the park? How did he do that? Not fair to Altuve.
No, it sucks that
not
we
fair
have
to the
this
Astros.
thoughts.
Not fair to anybody.
Yeah.
But if the Yankees thought something was up, that describes why Chapman had that look on his face of like, well,
Can't believe that just happened.
can't believe that just happened.
Yeah.
Or, well, kind of know how that happened.
Yeah.
How did he know? How did he catch up to that pitch when he's trying to either expect something faster or slow? I mean, how did he nail it like that?
Weren't there rumors of the whistling during this series?
That
too?
was, I think, last year or
Okay.
2 years ago when the Yankees and Astros played. Whistling is
same deal though. They're signaling
if they are getting it
Right,
from
right.
but if you're whistling standing on second base, fair game. If you're whistling from the dugout because somebody's zooming in on the camera to do it,
When you asked
cool.
When you asked the comparison earlier, I thought you were going to say, instead of Pete Rose, how is this different from like counting cards at blackjack, or that scene in Casino where the guy has the buzzer on his forearm?
Those are the reason, and that's why casinos kick your ass out of the casino and make sure that you don't not only step foot back in their casino, but they share that information with all of their colleagues.
But counting cards is technically not illegal. It's discouraged.
Well, I guess because you are using your brain to try and see stuff.
You're using observation and memory, but
which I guess would be the same thing as stealing a sign on second base.
Think so.
But when I read that report in the New York Post, because all of this about, hey, you know, it doesn't matter because they still had a better record on the road.
Right,
that year. And it didn't matter because guess what? Game 7 that the Astros won in that World Series, right here in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Unless they had a Fox feed, but the Fox feed, Big Fox, is delayed by a few seconds if you just watch the TV, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because
they're not, if they get like what they
right.
call
I mean, Janet Jackson took care of all that.
Exactly.
Not like saying, I'm serious. I mean,
I know.
All network television sporting events
if
are
they
now
use
delayed.
The center field camera that shoots the center field.
They might have their own camera.
Or if they have their own camera.
Because they're at home.
There's two different things. If they got a feed off that center field camera.
Our coordinating producer, Don Bowie, is getting him out here saying it's not delayed in the stadium, that it's live in the stadium.
They're getting programmed.
Yeah. Again, this is why baseball's got to get on this fast and get it out there. Because when I read... Because when I heard about this to begin with, and I came on this show, I'm like, you know what? What does it matter if they don't have this system half the time in their 81 games away from Houston? Right. And what does it matter when they had a better record away from the stadium than at home? They had a better record without this system than with that year. And when it all came down to it, how does that system of banging somewhere so somebody can hear that a fastball's coming or an off-speed pitch is coming, how does that work when there's 50 million fans in the stands screaming and yelling? And how does it work when you need it on Game 7 on the road? But if what we have been reading and what is being assumed and what may not be true, please understand this is a fully on worst-case scenario, which this would be, system where you can buzz somebody. You set something up and it's covered by a bandage and it looks like you've got some cut or everybody's wearing a wristband or something, and suddenly you feel a buzz because somebody's buzzing. I mean, it's just as bad as the quiz show scandal. It's just as bad as anything else. And to me, it's just as bad as Pete Rose betting on baseball. And that's why we're talking about the integrity of the game. And me as a fan, I should not be sitting here thinking Jose Altuve. And I talk about him as a Hall of Famer already. Even if he doesn't play another game, he should be in Cooperstown. And I fully believe that. But now I'm sitting here thinking, how the hell did he, game on the line, get an 84-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch from a guy who is throwing 100 miles an hour? How is he not fooled? And yet takes an 84-mile-an-hour pitch at his letters and yank it out to win an ALCS and go to the World Series. Guy's throwing 100, but here comes 84, and I'm on it. And I learn about a system set up to alert that an off-speed pitch is coming with bangs, and I'm like, you know what? That does not count here. Doesn't. Because how is he going to hear it? How does he know? But if he's getting buzzed, which, again, may not at all be the case. I have to keep saying that. But there are reports out there, and it's going to get crazier and crazier and crazier. Baseball's got to get on it and get on it fast. I do not envy them.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.